महाप्रज्ञं दैर्योदाक्षमानिधिं सदा विनवपूर्वं तं विद्यातीर्थगुरुं भजे। ज्ञानां जाह्नवीतीर्थं विद्यातीर्थं विवेकिनां सर्वेषां सुप्रदं तीर्थं भारतीतीर्थमाश्रये। विद्याविनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विदुषेखरभारती। Namaste to one and all. Special pronouns to Rajanna. All of you are reaching the historic 600th day of Parayanam in a couple of days, I was told. Indeed, it's a great blessing. It's something which does not happen so easily for everyone. And when it involves a lot of people, then the punyas and papas of all of them collectively will influence the event. So unless all of you had made enough punyam, gathered enough punyam over all your janmas, it would simply have not been possible for an event to happen by Acharya's grace without a break for 600 days. And it should continue forever. That's our sincere prayer. Now, the next 20 minutes or so, what I thought, even though we named it as samskaras, suddenly a good topic came up as I was trying to work on it. A good point came up for consideration. But it's good I share this with this group, which is more pertinent. When Bhishma was lying in the battlefield and was waiting for the Uttarayana Kala, so that he turns into the everlasting bliss. A few questions were posed before our Bhishma Pitamaha. So the questions they asked before him was, whom do you think is the greatest Lord in the world? Whom do you think that one can seek refuge over all things with absolute faith and belief? Whom do you think that by glorifying one can attain lots of peace and also prosperity? Whom do you think that by worshipping with faith somebody can attain auspiciousness? Whom do you think by pursuing that path he would guide us into the path of Dharma? And above all, who do you think by either meditating or by prostration or by doing japa or by recitation or by offering pujas, one can transcend this irreversible chain of births and deaths? It is irreversible as long as we don't get into the path of Jnana. So how do you break this chain? So when Pitamaha Bhishma lying on the battlefield, awaiting to turn into bliss, was posed all these questions, Bhishma Pitamaha, in spite of all the pain he was enduring, showed his hands to Bhagavan Shri Krishna and said, the glory, if you glorify him, Mahavishnu, through his names, whatever you aspire for, the questions which you have posed to me now gets completely addressed if you chant the divine 1,000 names of Bhagavan Mahavishnu. And it is these divine names of Lord Narayana which all of you have been in without a break for 600 days. Now we said on the last occasion that this 1 hour or 1.5 hours is very good for you. It's indeed a good time for you. When you have crossed 500 days of chanting, it is imperative that you also continue this vibration, this effect, even prior to sitting into this prayer at 5:30 or even post to this prayer after 7 o'clock. So what can you do, all of you? We said this on the last occasion, but I want to amplify it a little further this time. The divine name Rama, like if you see the entire Yajurveda comprising of 84 cantos and 7 kandas, running into thousands of panchayats. The whole of Yajurveda, the centerpiece of Yajurveda, what holds the Yajurveda intact is the divine name of the Lord Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya. That's the heart, that's the center word in the whole of Yajurveda. And what is the center chapter of the whole of Yajurveda? It is the Mahamantra, Sri Rudra. The divine names of Lord Shiva, 300 divine names of Lord Shiva, which we often worship it as the Rudra Drishti. Like that, in this divine 1,000 names, the whole 1,000 names is condensed into a pulp and given to us, the divine name of Rama. So if you can chant the divine name of Rama, whenever you can, how many times you can, each nama is going to only bring benefit to you. When Jyeshta Mahasannidhanam, Jagadguru Srimad Abhinavavidyatita Mahaswamigal was in Sringeri, a set of students from 3 Patashalas from South India visited Sringeri. Those days going to Sringeri was a once in a lifetime opportunity. And because young Patashala students were before him, Acharya was very happy and asked them, what do you want me to do for you? One of them said, can you do Anugraha Bhashanam on Ramayana? Acharya was surprised, but he didn't want to disappoint the children. He said, all right, let us do a daily routine on Sundarakanda. And he sat for the Anugraha Bhashanam every day. This is something which all of you might have heard, this particular piece, but there is something beyond it, which I am going to narrate now. So, when Acharya is about to deliver the Anugraha Bhashanam every day, he would request an asana to be put by his side. So, when the students asked, why are you putting an asana which is otherwise vacant throughout your Anugraha Bhashanam? Jyeshta Mahasannidhanam replied, my Guru has done this. And when somebody sought a clarification on this is what my Guru, Jagadguru Srimad Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal has said. Whenever you chant or read or meditate on Ramayana and Bhagavan Rama, Hanuman is bound to be physically present there. And therefore, when Bhagavan Hanuman comes, as we do our Anugraha Bhashanam for your benefit, if he comes, he has to be seated on an asana, and therefore this asana is placed for him. So the children did not ask anything beyond that. That day's Anugraha Bhashanam got over, and Acharya performed a Nevedyam with 3 Goa fruits, Goyapad, and asked one of the students, cut it and distribute it to rest of the Pathshala students. And he said, this is Mahaprasadam of Hanuman, please take it. One of the child was curious. He said, Swami, you are saying this is the prasadam of Hanuman. We didn't see Hanuman here at all. How do you say that this is a prasada? We found the guava fruits lying there during your Anugraha Bhashanam, and you did perform Naivedyam and you gave it to us, but we didn't see how it is prasada. Acharya smiled and said, all right, you are all learning Vedas. So he called the boy. I'll give you some time. This portion of the Yajurveda, you memorize and then come before. So the boy memorizes that portion of the Yajurveda allotted to him by Jyeshta Mahasannidhanam, completes it, and appears before Acharya for a while. Acharya said, now you recite it. The boy was able to recite it fluently in front of Acharya. So Acharya told him, look here, where did you memorize it from? The boy showed a book. This textbook has these passages and therefore I memorized it from here. All right, now you have memorized it from in your heart. So these texts should vanish. Why has it vanished? The boy was a little bit puzzled. He said, Swami, I don't understand what you are asking for. Look here, you had a textbook which had the passages of Yajurveda which I wanted you to by heart. You have done that now. You have brought it into your memory. So once you have brought it into your memory, why should it be that it should vanish? Why has it vanished? So the boy then started to understand slowly. Jyeshta Mahasannidhanam clarified, the text is always available. You are able to take it through your memory power, retain it, and the text still remains there. Hanuman has taken this fruit in toto because we have offered it with bhakti. Having offered it with bhakti, having taken it in toto, he loves his sishyas. He loves these children who are listening to this Anugraha Bhashanam, and therefore delivers back the same prasadam intact for your distribution. If this is possible for you to memorize, is it not possible for Hanuman to do this? He picked up the thread. He said, I'm sorry. On the concluding day of the Anugraha Bhashanam, when the asana was put and then Acharya commenced the Anugraha Bhashanam, a huge, mighty Anjaneya in the form of a monkey came and sat throughout the lecture. And on completion, when a Naivedyam was performed, it happily took the guava fruits and vanished. And therefore, Jyeshta Mahasannidhanam clarified to the students, God can make himself visible if he wants. And God will ever remain invisible if he chooses. It is his choice. But we should not suspect, because he is invisible, he is not there. So, Mahasannidhanam always says this, that when our mother does a Naivedyam, that's why we always, our samskara says, bathe and cook. Only then you can offer it to God. And when you offer sadam as a Naivedyam, sadam becomes prasadam. Otherwise, it is mere sadam. This is what Mahasannidhanam used to say. So, offering to God, God takes it in toto and returns it back in kindness to us. Is what this episode of Ramayana, while doing the Anugraha Bhashanam, Jyeshta Mahasannidhanam said. Mahasannidhanam, in one of his Anugraha Bhashanams, has said, the immaculate divine power of the word Rama. He says, when you say Ra, you open your mouth, and when you say Ma, you close your mouth. And what happens in between is very important. When you open your mouth and say Ra, all the sins accumulated over various janmas go out. And the moment you say Ma and close it, those sins which have gone out do not re-enter. Therefore, have this in mind. Keep chanting the divine name of Rama. There was a robber in the forest. and he had a family. He used to rob every day and go and give it to his family. The family would lead a happy life. One day, a rishi, this robber was fortunate enough to meet the rishi. So he was asking, what are you doing? He says, I am a forest robber. I dwell in this forest and I am a robber. People who come and pass by here, I rob them. The rishi asked him, okay, you rob. Are you using whatever you have robbed to yourself? No, I don't take everything to myself. I give it to the family. And whatever they give it back as food, cloth or shelter, I live on that. I don't take everything to myself. I see. Why don't you go and ask your family that the sins which you may carry because of doing the act of robbery should also be shared by them, because they have shared the resources out of robbery made by you. Go and ask what your family replies. So the robber goes to the family and says, this is what a rishi says, are you prepared to share my sins along with you? The family said, nothing doing. It's your sins, you should suffer for it. You have brought the resources and we are living on the resources. We are ready to take resources, but we are not ready to take the sins. The robber gets astonished with this answer, goes back to the rishi and says, this is what my family replies, that I have done so much for them. And the rishi says, do not worry. I will initiate you into your mantra. You keep chanting it as long as possible, in whatever way you wish to do it, because it's a robber. So he has to, and he is a forest dweller, so he has to be taught in his language. So the rishi, instead of teaching it as Rama, taught him as Mara. It was easy for him. So he started to chant Mara, 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 but sometimes it only becomes Rama. Whether you put it as Rama or Mara, it's going to be Rama for some time. And the robber, through his continuous chanting over a period of time, finally turned out to be Adi Kavi Valmiki, who was authored Ramayana. This is the power of the Taraka Mantra. Let me close with one more instance, a real life instance which all of us or our relatives here who are associated with Melmangalam village will know for sure. A lady became a widow in the year 1966, just after a few months after the Sashtya Murti of her husband. She was a very strong and a very courageous lady. She decided to chant the name of Ram a few times a day, starting with 10 or 15 in number. That's all she could do initially. Over a period of time, a sheer penance, she started to improve the numbers over a period of years. It became 100, it became 500, it became 1,000. Within about 10-12 years, she could improve it to an extent that on some days, she was even able to do Rama Japam of 10,000 to 12,000 times. A huge number. It's not a small number. Whenever you go and meet her, she's such a pleasant woman. You go and talk to her, she will talk to you. But if you don't talk to her or you don't take care of her, you don't look upon her for any assistance, she won't mind it. So if you go and talk to her, if somebody goes and narrates a good film, she used to listen to it very nicely. Very, very helpful grandmother. So, she does this for thousands and thousands of times over a period of time. Mahasamnidana came to Melmangalam in 1995 and performed the Kumbhabhishekam of Shankara temple. Sorry, this was a trip in 1987. It was in 1995, I'm right. In the year 1995. So, in fact, Mahasamnidana camped in their house during that visit. So, when he was about to leave, she summoned this lady to do prasadam, and the lady was very hesitant to go and stand and appear before Mahasamghi. She said, ask her to come. And gave her the prasadam and said, you have gained so much phalan out of your japa that you keep blessing all your children, their spouses, and all your grandchildren. A lot of good things will happen to the family. This is a very rare blessing. It's Acharya who keeps blessing all of us. Acharya says to this lady, you have attained so much of punya. You are a solid divine force in your family. So keep blessing your children and your grandchildren. They will all be doing well in life. And this one family which, because they were knit together, they could tie down so many problems in life, which is natural in any family. And they could pass every stage of hurdle so beautifully. And in 1999, the lady dies at the ripe old age of 84 or 87, maybe. And it was wondered, you know on what day she died? She died on a Mahashivratri day. And when this news was placed before Mahasamghi, he said, she has attained the Shivaloka Prapti. So it signifies a few important things. The power of the Taraka Mantram Rama. The power of chanting. The power of meditating on a Nama, Divya Nama. And above all, there is absolutely no distinction between Rama or Shiva. Shiva, Rama, Krishna is just one and the same for an Advaita. The woman who keeps on chanting Rama attains Shivaloka Prapti and throws this body on a Mahashivaratri day. This is the story of my own grandmother, Meenakshi Ammal, who is popularly called as Itima Pati. This is her story. And she has been a great divine person in our life, a great motivator in our life, a very courageous lady, and one who always remained tranquil because of the power of chanting, the Divya Nama, Rama. So, may this holy journey of yours keep continuing without interruption for times and ages to come. And may we all be blessed to hear, to see, to speak, to think, to meditate, to chant, to pray, to offer only the name of God and remain always in eternal peace. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you.